Hey everyone, welcome to Be Good Farm. My name is Heather. I'm in Zone 8A in northern central Arkansas. And today I wanted to go over how to use the Seedtime program to plan your crop rotations and when to sow your seeds indoors or direct sown outdoors. The program will pretty much show you how to do all of that. Now, seed time is really great for planting your vegetables. It doesn't do as great for flower farming. Flower farming, you have to take into consideration the cooler weather. There are some cool weather crops that don't do so well in the heat or won't bloom if there's not a certain amount of day length. It doesn't really take that into consideration. And so take it with a grain of salt when you use it to plan your flower garden, but still, it's worth a try, and it really can help you wrap your head around successions and all those really crazy things that are just, kind of blow your mind with flower math and vegetable math. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, to start the planning, you need to know what you're going to be growing. So I have here my big messy box of seeds. If you've never organized your seeds like this is just a photo box from the craft store. I got it from Michael's, and I have them organized by different types. You can organize your seeds by when to sow them outdoors, whether they're direct sown or transplanted, any way that makes sense to you. So I pulled out a big jumble of seeds that I am going to be putting into the program. And now that I have all these organized and they're ready to go, I'm just going to pop them into the program and it's going to tell me what to do. And it's amazing. So here we go. Okay, so to get started, go ahead and type in www.seedtime.us. And if you've have a membership already, go ahead and click login. If you haven't, click sign up for free. It really is free. You don't have to pay for anything to do anything that I'm going to show you today. If you want some of the extra features, you will have to pay, but it's really a reasonable price. I would recommend going for it if you're going to do a lot of different crops or a lot of succession sowing, or this is just what you do for maybe your day job. It's definitely worth doing. But the free version is definitely going to get you a really long way in your crop planning. So go ahead and sign up, and I'll take you to my own Seedtime. So here's for the flower garden. Because I have a membership, I can have multiple crop plans. If you have the free version, you can only do one crop plan, but that shouldn't deter you from, if you want to put in flowers and vegetables, you can put them all in at the same time. It's just for me, I like to have a separation of them. The reason why I really like Seedtime is you can organize it in any way you want. Here, I've already put all this in. I'll show you how to put it in. But here I have a list of all the flowers I'm going to grow, the specific varieties, the specific colors. And here it can show you in a calendar form what that looks like. So, and I can also change the way this looks like. So this is the timeline feature. If you click over here, it says timeline, or it will say year. You can click and you can scroll down to month. I'm going to go ahead and click on a year. And so this will take you through the months. So it's going to first show you January, and then you can scroll down to February, and then March, April. And so it's just a different way of viewing it. So depending on your personality and the way your brain works, you might want to choose either the year or the timeline to view your calendar. This one gets a little too intense for me once I start adding everything in. And so I'm just going to stay with the timeline. Now, one really great thing is you can actually view quite a few tasks. Here, the little S and the seed, this is when I need to start it indoors. And then this is when I transplant it. And then this little window here, this block, this shows me when my average harvest dates would be, which is actually quite helpful. So if I have my ageratum, I'm going to do a succession, and that'll show me how long it's generally going to last if I'm using in cut flower production. And you can adjust all the times here. So Celosia is going to last a lot longer than this. So it does have a few quirks to it, but it'll give you a good jumping off point. So you can also add some other tasks here, which is you can choose it to seed or direct seed, or you can also add the bed preparation or the cultivation of the seed, and you can actually take some off. So like if you just wanted to see when you were harvesting anything, you just click on these and it will take those off, and you can see just the harvest windows, which is great. Now let's go ahead and start a new crop plan and add in some of the vegetables for my garden this year. So this is what it would look like when you are starting out and you have nothing in your crop plan. The first thing that you would do is you can either click here where it says add a crop. I usually stick with this green button up at the top. I click this one and you're going to add a new crop. I'm going to choose the crop variety. I'm just going to type in tomato. And this one, I do like this because it says determinate and indeterminate. So if you don't know the difference, determinate means it's going to grow to a determined size and a determined length of harvesting. Indeterminate means it can get like 10 feet tall and you can harvest from it all summer. And so I'm going to be putting in this homestead tomato. And so it's going to be an indeterminate. Generally, if it doesn't say anything on the packet, whether it's indeterminate or determinate, it's most likely indeterminate. So so we've picked tomato, and it's brought up this crop variety. Here you can type in any type that you want. Now, it didn't actually have homestead tomato, so I had to type that in myself. So I've already done that. So it says homestead, and it's going to just put in the average calculations for a tomato. If you wanted to change any of those settings, you could come down here. It's not necessary. You can just use whatever they already have in there. You could say relative to frost. If you're going to be putting it in a high tolerance or something like that, you can click manual and choose the dates accordingly. This is a spring summer crop in the year 2024, and the seeding date is 6 weeks before the last frost. We're going to be transplanting these. Now, if you wanted to change it and you're not going to start it indoors, you could just as easily click direct seed and it would do all the math for you. It says when it's ready to transplant, the row spacing, it puts in here. Now with my tomatoes, I actually put them in 18 inches. And so I'm just going to change that. Not that you have to do that. Days to maturity, it's 65 days from seeding, which is actually correct. I'm going to change that to 70. But most vegetables, it's always from transplanting, so not actually from seeding. And the harvest window will be to the end of the season, and you can succession sow them every 8 weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and click schedule. Okay, and then it pops up here on my crop list. And here is the tomato. Now I'm going to put back on the tasks the seeding, direct seeding, and I also want to see the transplant date. So it tells me that if I'm going to start this tomato indoors, I need to start it in the week of March 3rd and then transplant it out 2 weeks after my last frost date. If you see here, this blue line, this is the frost date. Anything after that, you should be safe to plant and harvest tomatoes. Here in October 15th is my first frost date, and so that's why there's this blue here. So that right here in these white columns, that is my growing window. Now let's put in one that's a little bit easier. Let's put in another tomato. You can add a new crop, another tomato here. I'm going to be doing a sweetie tomato. This is also a indeterminate, and I'm going to look down. I can type in sweetie and see if they have it. Yep. Here's my sweetie tomato. It already has the settings all perfect. If you want, you can go down advanced settings and check it against the information on the back of the packet, but I know it's correct, so I'm not going to go ahead and do that. Just click schedule. And here it is. So this is my homestead tomato, my slicer tomato, and here is my cherry tomato, the sweetie variety. Now you see that this one is ready just a little bit earlier than the homestead one. Let's put in another tomato. Now this one is going to be a determinate variety. And I'm going to see if they have it. They didn't have it, so I had already entered this one in last year, and it already has all of my settings. Now, if you had the free version, I don't know if you can add your own crops, but you can leave this blank, and then right here in the label, you could just put Napoli, so that in your crop list here, you could tell what it was going to be, and just take the standard settings for a tomato. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule that one. So it says here, here's my determinate list and my indeterminate list. So I know that here is where I can harvest these determinate tomato, and that's actually quite a long time. So usually I only have about 4 weeks to be able to harvest them. So if I wanted to change that, I would go to these little 3 dots here. You could click on it and you could edit, go back into the advanced settings. And I know that I really only have about 28 days of harvesting. So 4 weeks of harvesting this tomato. I'm going to click schedule, and you could make adjustments to whatever crops you have. It's very customizable, and I've been using them since they started several years ago. And they really have come a really long way, and it's just a fabulous program. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's add some carrots. I have the coral carrots. So let's just type in carrots. Oops. Okay, coral. Yep. Use the variety. Click schedule. Okay, perfect. So this one, it recommends direct seeding. I would not recommend starting any type of root vegetable indoors. You can do radishes and maybe turnips and things like that, but a carrot really does need to start outdoors. So it says to direct seed even before my frost, because carrots are a cool season vegetable. They can take the heat and they can take the cool. So I'm going to direct sow them in the week of March 17th and be harvesting them in June. Now, I want more than one bunch of carrots this year, so I'm actually going to click here, these 3 dots, click on it, and you can edit it, you can duplicate it, or you can add a succession. And I'm going to add a succession. So this one says that the high temperatures are probably going to compromise your crop, and that is true, but for me, I can really plant carrots all throughout the season, so I'm going to just go with it anyway. So here it has me direct seeding just 4 weeks after that, and then if I keep putting in new successions, I can have crops all the way through the season. Now, I'm actually going to be flipping my bed. So I'm going to be taking out these carrots and then putting in a new set of carrots. So I'm going to take this direct seeding. I'm going to click and hold on it. And I'm just going to push it back to maybe 2 weeks after the last harvest of the last carrots, to about June 30th, and see if I move that one button, it's going to move everything else. So this is why I like Seedtime. You can adjust and manipulate the dates and the times, and it does all the calculations for you. It's really amazing. So I know that I could get 2 harvests of carrots in during the year, which is awesome. I love carrots, and if you don't pick all these carrots, they can stay in the garden over the winter. All right, let's add another crop. This is the red cabbage. Let's start cabbage, not red cabbage. So I have red acre cabbage. Red acre, click that, click schedule. This is a cool season crop. So it's going to have us starting the seeds today, this week, and we'll be able to harvest it in June, which is accurate to what I usually do. And let's add a couple more things. Let's add a cucumber, a Canada crookneck squash, and some peppers, just to kind of give you an idea of what this all looks like. Let's start with some cucumbers. So we're going to go back, add crop, cucumbers, and this is the Boston pickling. I'm going to schedule that. Okay, this looks good. Now I usually like to direct, so my cucumbers. So I'm going to add another succession of this one to go after this one has finished up, because cucumbers really don't last the entire season. It gets really hot, they get powdery mildew, and so once this one is out, I'm actually going to plant another one. And yes, I can get a bumper crop. They don't do as well as the first one, but it's nice to get extra cucumbers if I can. Now I'm going to edit this and change it from transplanting to direct seeding. And it has the harvest window is the same as direct seeding and transplanting. And there's my cucumbers. I'm going to be putting in next, add another crop, peppers, and the yellow monster pepper. And they have quite a extensive library of plants that they have. They didn't used to. Every year they're always putting in more and more different types of varieties. All right, so this is here. You can see my peppers have been added. The timeline looks pretty great. And also let's add a squash. This one is actually a winter squash. And the Canada crookneck. Perfect. They have that one too. Yep. So here we go. So this is my Canada crookneck. I'm actually going to be planting this one twice in this season. So I'm going to add a new succession. And I'm actually going to move the dates to as far as I can get without running into the frost date. So I'm actually going to move the harvest window to about there. There you go. So I'm actually going to be putting these next to each other in the bed. So if you were planning to take out one crop and put in another, you can see that you really don't have enough time with like a winter squash. You could either take out your winter squash, and if you wanted to reuse that bed with something else, you can see you could probably fit in your carrots here. To flip the bed and put something else in that space. But if I wanted to put Canada crookneck in the Canada crookneck spot, you couldn't do that because you're still harvesting at the time that you would actually need to be transplanting those little seedlings or direct sowing. So this would help you organize your thoughts, organize all of your seeds, and really see when everything is going to be in the ground, whether or not you can plant something because you're still in the harvest window or it's going to be too cold. Really, really great program. So one of the things that I really like about this is the task list. You can come over here, and under this little seed logo here, you can go to tasks. And what this is going to do is it is going to give you a task list for everything you need to do for that week. This is the week of February. Today's February 17th. And it's saying that today I need to plant my red acre. I need to start them indoors. So the seeding means indoors. If it wanted you to plant it outdoors, it would say direct seeding. So what you can do is you can actually take this calendar and look for next week and see what next week's tasks are. Here it says still seeding, so let's bump it up to, let's go to March. Okay, so it says that in March, overdue, it says overdue tasks. I wouldn't have needed to plant my cabbage the week of February 12th, the week of March 4th. I would have needed to plant my tomatoes and my peppers, and then direct sow my carrots and transplant my cabbage on March 18th. So this really helps to get things organized so you don't miss a date. And this is actually printable, so you could click on it. You could print the task list if you like. And if you want to print out the task list for the whole year, I would just go to the end of the year here in the 31st of October. And here it's gonna say all the tasks are overdue, but you can print this out and it has all the tasks for everything that you're going to be doing in the garden. And you can actually tell it what to do here. You can ask it to show you the seeding, the direct seeding, the bed preparation, the transplanting, the cultivating. It can give you reminders for when to harvest your vegetables. Really, really great program. Like, it doesn't get better than this. And if you are going to do this on your own, it would take weeks and weeks and weeks. I absolutely love Seedtime. So I hope you go and you give it a go and you try it out. It really is fabulous. Anyways, well, glad to see you guys again. Hope to see you next time. Bye.